Discover the heartwarming reaction of a CEO dad after his autistic daughter's unbelievable dismay. Jack Thompson was a man of contrasts, a CEO in sharp suits by day and a loving father by night. He ruled the boardroom with a steadfast grip, but inside, he wrestled with a deeper challenge. His daughter, Lily, an imaginative soul on the autism spectrum, fought battles at school no child should have to face. Jack watched helplessly as Lily's once bright spirit dimmed, her laughter fading into silence after facing relentless bullying. Each day as he hurried home after 12-hour meetings, every honk on the bustling highway echoed his anxious heartbeat. Their home sat nestled among friendly faces but relentlessly competitive spirits in the vibrant suburbs where everyone seemed to be measuring success in yard length and the latest gadgets. Jack's heart twisted every time he noticed Lily retreat into herself. "I don't want to go to school, Daddy," she would whisper, fear clouding her bright, blue eyes. Those words pierced right through him. He wished he could shield her from the world that didn't understand her talents, the very talents that had once brought them joy. Everything escalated when a video of Lily drawing a breathtaking mural in their backyard went viral. It was a beautiful moment turned bittersweet as praise came with a ferocious tsunami of critiques online. Jack's pride battled with helplessness as he read the comments tearing her apart. He felt an instinctual urge to defend her, to wrap his arms around her and shield her from the ugliness of the world. Yet, in an attempt to protect her, he pushed him further away. He pulled her from public life, believing it was the right decision, but it turned their joyful exchanges into tense standoffs filled with misunderstandings. The vibrant flutter of Lily's spirit transformed into a cautious whisper, and Jack's heart ached at the distance growing between them. Yet, in the shadows of their heavy silence, there was a glimmer of hope. One day, Lily summoned immense courage. She said, "Daddy, I want to help my friends understand me." That was the candlelit moment Jack never saw coming, a chance for redemption as they prepared to speak at the upcoming town hall to advocate for acceptance. The air was thick with anticipation. "We can make a difference, right?" Jack asked, his voice tight with emotion. Watching her sparkle bravely, he suddenly realized true strength wasn't about towering corporate successes, but loving and standing by his daughter. It was about showing the world their undeniable connection. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The day of the assembly arrived, a continuum of nervous anticipation. The room bustled with energy, but Jack felt his heart race as they approached the microphone. Would the community embrace Lily's message of love and acceptance, or would they let ignorance prevail? Holding his daughter's hand, he felt the warmth of her spirit seep through, reminding him of the power that lay in vulnerability as they took a breath. A hush fell over the room, a moment of reflection wrapped in fear and hope. Jack turned to Lily. "Whatever happens, I'm proud of you." As they began to speak, the air electrified with the possibility of change, with every word they uttered leaving a mark on the hearts of those present. The story of resilience, love, and acceptance hung thick in the air, waiting for the audience to recognize and embrace what really mattered. Could they bridge the gap of understanding in a world so often shrouded in ignorance? Lily's voice cracked through the silence, steady and clear, as she shared her story. "My name is Lily Thompson, and I see the world a little differently. Sometimes it feels like I'm standing at the edge of a big lake and everyone else is on the other side, skipping stones. I want to join them, but I don't know how." A murmur swept through the crowd. Parents leaning into one another, students exchanging glances. Jack watched awe wash over Lily's face as she spoke. This was the moment he had longed for, the moment she found her voice amid a sea of misunderstanding. Lily continued, "When I draw, it's like I'm expressing everything that's inside of me, colors and feelings that are sometimes too hard to say. I know my friends don't mean to be hurtful, but I sometimes feel alone. I want them to know it's okay to be different. Jack's heart swelled. This girl, standing so brave before a sea of eyes, had turned fear into hope. Each word of hers peeled away layers of doubt he had about this new journey together. He stepped forward, adding, "What Lily is saying is important. We all have our struggles, and by sharing them, we can build bridges instead of walls. Love and understanding is what our community needs. I've seen firsthand how kindness can change the world, one small action at a time." The audience was still, each person digesting the weight of their words. Jack scanned the faces around him, searching for reactions, and noticed a few nods, a shared understanding beginning to blossom. Just then, a familiar voice broke the tension. It was Mrs. Jenkins, the principal, stepping up from the front row. "I think it's time," she said, her voice gentle. "Let us open the floor for questions. Let us talk about how we can be better." Hands shot up like wildflowers after a rainstorm, a mix of kids and adults. The first question came from a boy in a baseball cap. "How do you deal with it when people are mean?" Jack leaned into the mic. "That's a great question. Sometimes it hurts, but it's important to remember that their behavior says more about them than it does about you." Lily added, "And when I draw, I focus on the good stuff. It helps me." Questions turned into discussions, and with each voice that spoke up, Jack felt a wave of support wash over them. Together, they were breaking through the ignorance, allowing understanding to weave gently over their community. As they wrapped up the assembly, Jack felt a warmth spread through him. They planted seeds today, seeds of acceptance and love that could grow into something beautiful. Lily took his hand, and as they walked off the stage, she whispered, "Did you see that, Daddy? They really listened." "Yes," he replied, his heart racing with pride. Yet, as they walked out, Jack's phone buzzed in his pocket. He glanced at the screen. A notification from social media, an incoming wave of comments about their speech. With a steadying breath, he opened the app. His heart sank. The first comment read, "What does a CEO know about real problems?" Jack's smile faltered. Beneath their moment of triumph lay echoes of the same judgments they had just faced. Would they ever escape the clutches of criticism? In that moment, a new determination ignited in him. "Lily, let us go home and start planning our next steps. We aren't done here." Her eyes sparkled with excitement. "What are we going to do, Daddy?" "Something bigger. I think it's time we start a campaign. Let us show everyone what true acceptance looks like." With a nod, they both understood the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but would be worth every challenge. And as they began to brainstorm ideas, Jack realized that sometimes the hardest battles come with the greatest rewards. But would they find the strength to face the tide of negativity? Would their message of kindness reach further than they ever dreamed? The morning sun peeked through the kitchen window, casting warm rays across the table where Jack and Lily sat, surrounded by sketches and colorful markers. The remnants of breakfast lay forgotten as ideas spilled out, transforming into sketches of unity and acceptance. Jack couldn't help but smile as Lily's imagination danced across the paper, each stroke revealing a piece of her heart. "What if we have an art show?" Lily suggested, enthusiasm bubbling over. "We could invite everyone to bring their own art. We can call it a different kind of beautiful." "That's a fantastic idea," Jack exclaimed, his eyes shining with pride. "Art can be such a powerful way to express ourselves, tell stories." As they continued to brainstorm, the doorbell rang, slicing through the morning's creativity. Jack went to answer it, curious about who might be dropping by. He swung open the door to find Mrs. Jenkins standing there, her expression earnest. "Jack, I heard about your assembly. It moved so many people," she said, stepping inside. Her smile reflected genuine admiration. "I wanted to see if I could help with your art show idea. The school could host it if you think it'll work." Lily's eyes widened. "Really? That would be amazing." Jack felt a surge of gratitude towards Mrs. Jenkins. "Thank you so much. With your support, we can reach a wider audience. Let us make this happen. Let us meet tomorrow to get started," she replied, jotting down a few notes. "We can brainstorm how to get everyone involved, and perhaps even get some community sponsors." As Mrs. Jenkins left with plans fluttering in the air, Jack turned to Lily, who was practically bouncing with excitement. This was their chance to turn their message into something tangible, something that could ripple through their community with warmth. Later that evening, as Jack tucked Lily into bed, her voice broke through the quiet. "Daddy, do you think people will really come? What if they don't care?" Jack paused, his heart heavy. Sometimes people might seem uninterested, but it's our job to show them why it matters. Every step we take invites them in, showing them our world. They might not understand right away, but if we keep sharing our message, it will reach them. Just like when I drew what I felt to show my friends, she asked, half asleep already. Exactly. Everyone sees the world differently. Sometimes it just takes a little time. With kisses and goodnights exchanged, Jack left Lily's room, a deep resolve pressing on his chest. The day had been a whirlwind of hope, but he couldn't shake the comments from earlier. Critics out there could try to silence them, but his daughter's voice had effectively sparked a flicker in others. By the time he laid down, an idea formed in his mind that felt electric. What if they could invite those critics, host a conversation, open a dialogue? It could be uncomfortable, but real change often came from being candid. Didn't he it? Jack closed his eyes, envisioning not just an art show, but a gathering. One where every voice could be heard, where they could amplify the beauty of differences and embrace their unique stories. And then, another notification pinged on his phone, a reminder of the comments. He hesitated, wondering if he should pause or push through. In the quiet of the dark, he decided to look. Maybe he needed to face the words head-on. Would the dialogue he envisioned be enough to transform even the toughest critics? Would reaching out invite healing in unexpected places? The next morning dawned bright and early, the air humming with anticipation. Jack spent the last hour before school preparing for the meeting with Mrs. Jenkins. He shuffled through stacks of Lily's artwork, piecing together a vision of a different kind of beautiful art show. Each piece showcased her unique perspective, and he felt a swelling pride with each turn of the page. "Daddy!" Lily called out, running into the living room, a rainbow of scrunchies knotted in her hair. "I had a dream that everyone came, even Ms. Rourke." Jack chuckled. Ms. Rourke was the school's strict art teacher, known for her eyes that seemed to cradle both critique and admiration. "That sounds amazing." What happened then? They all painted their feelings. It felt like a rainbow explosion, and suddenly everyone understood. She beamed with a brightness that lit up the room. "That would be incredible, superstar. We just need to make sure we invite them to see our rainbow, too." As they finished breakfast, Jack's phone buzzed again, and he quickly glanced at the screen. A mix of excitement and dread filled him as he noticed it was from the school's parent group. They had a chat about the assembly, and he knew there might be some negative comments lingering like storm clouds. "Oh," Lily said, noticing the way his face shifted. "Bad news?" He shook his head. "Just some more questions. But listen, we'll be sharing our art and our message. That's what matters. Right? Right?" She was unwavering, and that little confidence spurred him on. They arrived at school, the vibe buzzing with energy. Mrs. Jenkins was already waiting, eager to brainstorm. As they gathered in the small conference room, the scent of fresh coffee mingled with the whispers of the other teachers. "Thank you for coming, everyone. I can feel the excitement." Mrs. Jenkins started, her enthusiasm infectious. "Let us dive in." A whiteboard filled with ideas quickly took shape. They discussed ways to involve students, families, and even community members. Every person brought something important to the table. Jack felt his heart swell with every contribution. But then came the moment that shifted everything. "Why don't we invite those critics?" Jack asked, a nervous edge to his voice. "The ones who left negative comments? It might be scary, but I think it could create real conversations." Silence fell, and he felt a mix of hope and fear. "What if they don't want to engage?" One teacher said hesitantly. "But what if they do?" Jack countered, his heart racing. "What if we share our stories and invite them into our world? Things don't have to change overnight, but it can be a start." Lily, watching with wide eyes, piped up, "Art is like magic. It helps them to see." A ripple of discussion ignited as each teacher began considering the possibility. Who knew? What if the art they created together would unravel some of the big knots tied in people's hearts? As the meeting wrapped up, Jack felt lighter. They had formed a solid plan, but deeper still were the fledgling hopes of transformed perspectives. Perhaps this art would not just showcase beauty, it would unveil a common thread of understanding. That evening, as they sat down for dinner, the taste of excitement lingered in the air. "Do you think they'll really come?" Lily asked, her voice wavering. "They might," Jack replied. "And if they do, it could change how they see the world. Just like it did for you." But even as he spoke, a suspicion tugged at him. How would they reach those who were most resistant? Would his idea truly work, or was he setting them up for heartache? The question hung, tantalizingly out of reach. Would this effort lead to connection and warmth, or would it be met with more resistance? The days blurred into a whirlwind of preparations. Jack found himself tucked away in his workshop late into the evening, surrounded by Lily's vibrant creations. The colorful pieces, each a window into her vivid imagination, lined the walls like sentinels, their colors reflecting hopes and dreams. It was a labor of love, infusing each part of the exhibition with meaning. Lily bounced in, a burst of sunshine, her excitement palpable. "Dad, can I help with the invitations?" "Absolutely. You're the star." After all, he smiled, handing her a stack of colorful cards. With diligent hands, they began crafting invitations, each one adorned with splashes of paint and little doodles. As they worked side by side, Jack caught a glimpse of Lily's artistry. Her fingers danced over the paper, tiny strokes of green and blue bringing life to the blank canvas. "Look, that's a happy tree," she exclaimed, holding up her creation. "Looks very happy indeed. But we should also make sure those invitations reach everyone, especially the critics." She paused, a furrow appearing on her brow. "You think they'll like my art?" Jack's heart tightened. "Well, you never know unless you show them. Just remember, art is about expression, it's your story." She nodded, reassured by his words. But as the exhibition date approached, so did a wave of anxiety crashing into Jack's mind. The comments from the parent group haunted him. He felt like an outsider in his own community, questioning whether he had made the right call by opening the doors wide. The night before the show, he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, worry gnawing at him. What if the criticisms overshadowed the beauty they were aiming to showcase? A knot formed in his stomach, tightening with every passing thought. Morning light spilled into the room like a soft whisper. His heart raced as he got up, feeling the weight of the day ahead pressing down on him. Lily, however, was a bundle of joy. She seemed unaware of her father's turmoil, her smile contagious as she bounded into the living room. "Today's the day, Dad. Are you ready?" Her enthusiasm wrapped around him like a warm blanket. "I'm getting there. Just need to focus on the art and all the good it represents." But shadows of doubt lingered. As they arrived at the venue, a community center filled with promise, Jack could feel the nervousness settling in his bones. He spotted families gathering around, some familiar faces, others unfamiliar. "Everyone's excited," Lily chirped, her innocent belief igniting something dormant within him. As people flowed in, Jack took a deep breath. He watched Lily dart about, engaging with the guests, her laughter ringing clear. It was in that moment he saw her confidence take root. Then, the first whispers began, clusters of parents hovering near the entrance, exchanging guarded glances. A knot clenched tighter in Jack's chest. He stepped forward, determined to meet them. "Welcome. I'm Jack, Lily's dad. We're grateful you could come." One of the critics, a mother he recognized from online discussions, hesitated but offered a polite smile. "Thanks for inviting us. We were curious about the show." "Curiosity is a great place to start," he replied, masking the dread that loomed inside. But as he moved through the crowd, watching people mingle with the art, absorbing the colors and emotions displayed, he felt a shift. Maybe, just maybe, they could uncover some understanding through these pieces. Lily appeared at his side, tugging on his sleeve. "Daddy, look at that lady. She is smiling at my painting." The sight of a woman entranced by Lily's work, her features softening, washed over Jack like sunlight breaking through clouds. "See?" he whispered, kneeling down to Lily's level. "Art has its own magic." A flicker of hope ignited in the pit of Jack's stomach, but he still sensed the looming tension. Would they all feel the magic, or would their hearts remain closed? As the exhibition continued, laughter intertwined with whispers of uncertainty. But Jack was ready to challenge every doubt, defending the power of connection through art. He felt alive, with purpose, pushing away the shadows that sought to creep back in. And then he spotted Ms. Rourke. She stood at the back, arms crossed, her expression unreadable. He felt both fear and determination swell in his chest. "Lily, I'm going to talk to her," he murmured, his heart pounding. "Good luck, Daddy." He stepped forward, anxiety crackling in the air. Would this be a bridge to understanding, or another brick wall? With a deep breath, he faced her, ready to unravel the unspoken. The moment held more weight than he anticipated, forcing him to question everything. Would this encounter shift perspectives, or were they still too far apart? Jack took a deep breath, stepping into the thick air between them. Ms. Rourke remained aloof, her arms still crossed, a fortress built around her doubts. Her gaze was sharp, scanning the colorful chaos of the exhibition. For a moment, he felt as if he stood on the edge of a precipice. "Hi, Ms. Rourke," he said, trying to steady his voice. "Thank you for coming." She returned his greeting with a curt nod, her expression hidden behind a veil of skepticism. "Your daughter's art, it's different." The words came out with an edge that cut through the ambience of laughter and chatter. Jack swallowed hard. "Different can be good. It's all about perspective." "Is it?" she countered, a challenging tone surfacing. "What if it's just a reflection of some misplaced encouragement?" His heart raced. This was not how he anticipated the conversation going. Lily sees the world in ways many don't. Her art speaks her truth. Ms. Rourke hesitated, her defenses wavering slightly. Truth or just chaos? The chaos means authenticity. Then yes. He searched her eyes, hoping for a spark of understanding. Lily's world is filled with vibrant colors because that's how she feels life. I believe art should evoke emotion, and she does just that. He could see the gears turning in her mind. Perhaps amidst her skepticism, there was a sliver of curiosity. Jack pressed forward. "I hope you take time to explore her work. Each piece has a story, a heartbeat." Ms. Rourke's narrowed eyes softened for a moment as she glanced at a painting nearby, a riot of colors swirling like a storm, yet somehow grounded in the center. "It's amazing what people can create when they feel." She began, her voice trailing off. For the first time, her armor seemed to rust just slightly. "I think you'd be surprised at how much you could find in her paintings," Jack encouraged, gesturing towards the vibrant works that surrounded them. "Perhaps you could join her for a little while?" The tension between them was almost tangible. She hesitated, but not for long. Ms. Rourke took a step closer. "And you think that would change my perspective?" "I hope so. Not every story is forged the same way. Maybe in understanding Lily, you'll see something about yourself too." Quiet fell between them, a moment of reflection suspended in time. Jack hoped she could feel the sincerity radiating from him, a desperate plea for connection wrapped in vulnerability. Just as Ms. Rourke's expression softened, laughter echoed nearby, drawing her attention away. The moment slipped. "I'll think about it," she said finally, her voice steadier, but still cautious. With that, she turned and walked toward a group of parents, her posture guarded yet intrigued. "Hey, Dad!" Lily's voice rang out, excitement spilling over as she pointed to a small crowd entranced by one of her pieces. "Look, they're talking about my painting." Jack's heart swelled at her enthusiasm. "See? They love it." Lily's eyes sparkled, and in that moment nothing else mattered. Yet, he couldn't shake the feeling of unfinished business with Ms. Rourke. He glanced back to the doorway, half expecting her to return but finding her absorbed in conversation instead. "Do you think I should invite Ms. Rourke to do an art session?" Lily asked, her voice bubbling with the innocence of hope. Jack's mind raced. "Maybe, but let us focus on the people who are here right now. What's important is they're seeing you." He watched as Lily waved to a child admiring her work. As their eyes connected, he could see the power of her expression touching the child's heart. But just as he began to relax, the familiar sense of dread returned. Was it enough? Would Ms. Rourke's opinions remain the same? The uncertainty gnawed within him, and he wished he had more time to change minds as the sun began to dip low. Casting golden light through the windows, Jack caught Lily's laughter floating through the air, mingling with the warmth of contentment. Yet, a lingering thought festered. Could this truly be the turning point he hoped for? Or merely the beginning of a longer journey to acceptance? With those questions hanging in the air, and the evening stretching ahead, he decided it was time to delve deeper. Jack felt the pulse of the crowd and knew there was more to uncover, perhaps even within himself. Just then, he caught sight of Ms. Rourke again, now gazing intently at one of Lily's pieces. What was she thinking? Would tonight bring clarity, or would it leave them both in the shadows of doubt? Jack's heart raced as he watched Ms. Rourke's unwavering gaze fixated on the painting. It was as if the vibrant colors had wrapped around her, pulling her into Lily's world. He wanted to move closer, to catch a glimpse of what she was feeling, but he hesitated. What if she turned back to skepticism? "Dad, come look." Lily's voice broke through his thoughts. She was skipping towards him, a bright smile illuminating her face. Someone asked if they could buy one of my paintings. Jack crouched down to her level, feeling the warmth of her joy seep into his chest. "That's amazing." "Which one?" "The big one with the orange swirls. The one that looks like it has a sun in the middle." His chest puffed with pride. "Of course. You're a true artist, Lily." He reached out and ruffled her hair, her giggles filling him with a lightness he hadn't felt all evening. But even as he shared this moment with his daughter, a flicker of worry lingered. "What do you think Ms. Rourke thinks now?" Lily asked, glancing over her shoulder toward her teacher. "Maybe she's discovering something about your art." "Something true," Jack replied, glancing back at Ms. Rourke, who still stood before the painting, her expression shifting softly. "Let us hope she sees the beauty, Lily." After a moment, Lily tugged on her father's sleeve. "Can we go talk to her?" "Sure," Jack said, masking his uncertainty with a smile. Together, they approached Ms. Rourke, who was now deep in conversation with another parent. When she turned to face them, Jack observed a subtle change in her demeanor. The fierce lines of scrutiny softened, replaced with a glimmer of intrigue. "Ms. Rourke," Lily chirped, her voice steady yet filled with excitement. "Did you like my painting?" Unprepared, Ms. Rourke took a breath, her posture relaxing. "I did. It's unlike anything I've seen before." Jack stepped closer, sensing an opening for deeper dialogue. "What do you think it communicates?" Ms. Rourke hesitated, searching for the right words amid the noise around them. "Feels alive. There's a pulse to it." Jack felt a swell of hope. "Exactly. That's Lily's emotion you're seeing. Her heart is in every brushstroke." There was a flicker in Ms. Rourke's eyes again. I've always believed in the importance of structure, of discipline in art, but life isn't always structured." Jack interjected softly, his voice inviting. "Sometimes we need chaos to discover something beautiful." Their eyes locked in quiet understanding. Yet, before it could deepen, someone shouted across the room, bringing their attention back to the crowd. "Your painting is the favorite of the night," a mother exclaimed, pulling Lily's attention. "It's so full of energy." A smile broke across Lily's face, and she beamed, soaking up the praise. Jack's heart lifted. She truly was an artist, and tonight was a testament to her spirit. But amidst the celebration, Jack noticed Ms. Rourke linger just a moment longer, studying Lily. A thought struck him hard. Could this moment shift her perspective permanently? As conversations swirled around them, he noticed Lily diverting to show another child her painting. The uncompromised joy hit him again, a reminder of what truly mattered. Back at Ms. Rourke, Jack felt a sense of urgency. "Will you consider joining us for an art session with Lily?" he asked, the vulnerability of hope in his voice. I might," she said slowly, her own walls beginning to tremble. "I'm curious to see how she works." The moment hung there, delicate and meaningful. Jack dared to dream that perhaps Ms. Rourke was inching toward acceptance, even friendship. But as a group of parents erupted into laughter, breaking the moment's air, a lingering question pierced through Jack's thoughts. Was curiosity enough to dismantle years of conviction? The night still stretched ahead, and with it lay the possibility of transformations yet to come. But would Ms. Rourke truly embrace the unstructured beauty before her? Or would the barriers between them hold fast? Jack stood still for a moment, catching his breath as the burst of laughter from the crowd faded. His mind raced. The connection he felt with Ms. Rourke was fragile, like a spider's web glistening with morning dew. He wanted to protect it, nurture it, and watch it grow. But the inherent tension of the room loomed large. Could she really see past her rigid beliefs? "Dad, let us celebrate," Lily called out, pulling him back into the present. "Can we eat cake?" Her eyes sparkled with innocence, and the irrepressible joy radiating from her made everything else feel trivial. "Of course, pumpkin," he replied, gently guiding her toward the cake display. As they walked, Jack glanced back at Ms. Rourke, who appeared to be engrossed in conversation with another art lover, her face now a blend of curiosity and contemplation. The stark shift in her emotions made his heart flutter with cautious optimism. Amid the sweet chaos of the art show, Lily's joy was infectious. She dashed from one group of parents to another, proudly explaining her inspiration behind her paintings. Jack couldn't help but smile as he overheard snippets of conversations filled with admiration for his daughter's talent. "Look at your little Picasso," one parent exclaimed. "She really captures that feeling of warmth," another remarked. Jack's pride swelled in his chest. But with each compliment directed at Lily, he couldn't shake the question that had lodged itself in his mind. Would Ms. Rourke ever come to appreciate the beauty of the unconventional path? After some cake, Jack found a quieter corner to watch. He loved seeing Lily reveling in her success, feeling like the brightest star in the room. But when he turned back, he noticed Ms. Rourke approaching. His heart skipped a beat. "Jack," she said, her voice gentle yet uncertain. "Can I talk to you for a moment?" "Absolutely," he replied, feeling a knot of nerves tighten in his stomach. The way she looked at him, almost tentatively, felt like they were treading on thin ice as they stepped aside. Jack could sense the stares of parents lingering around them, eager to witness this unexpected encounter. "I've been thinking," Ms. Rourke began, her words trailing off. "Lily has a unique perspective that I might have overlooked." "It's refreshing." Jack's breath quickened. "That means a lot. She pours her heart into every piece. I wish more people could see that." Ms. Rourke's brow furrowed as if she were wrestling with new thoughts. "I've always focused on technique, on teaching the foundations. But it seems like I've stifled creativity by doing so. That's not uncommon among educators," Jack said, the empathy in his veins pushing him to reach out. "Sometimes, as adults, we forget the joy of just creating." Their eyes met, and for a moment, the world around them blurred. Jack felt a shift within her, but it was subtle, like the first crack in an old wall. Would she let the flood of emotions rush through? Before he could speak again, Lily bounded over, her face smeared with frosting. "Ms. Rourke, thank you for liking my painting," she beamed, putting a hand on Ms. Rourke's sleeve. Laughter bubbled up from Ms. Rourke, breaking the heavy air. "You have a wonderful talent, Lily. Keep shining." Jack watched as Ms. Rourke's barriers continued to tremble under the pressure of Lily's warmth. There was hope, but the lingering doubt remained. Could she change her perspective enough to embrace what she once rejected? As the evening drew on, Jack felt the weight of anticipation build. Transformations were occurring, but how deep would they run? Suddenly, across the room, a sense of urgency arose. A controversial figure in the art community had just stepped in, and murmurs quickly spread. It would be the perfect moment for every hidden truth to surface. What awaited them in this unexpected turn of events? Jack's heart raced at the thought of what could unfold. Would it lead to new beginnings or push them further apart? The crowd's buzz intensified as the controversial figure made his entrance. People shifted, craning their necks for a glimpse. Jack felt the excitement in the air, a mix of apprehension and curiosity. It was a blend he couldn't escape, like the smell of fresh paint mingling with varnish in the gallery. "Who's that?" Lily tugged at Jack's sleeve, her eyes wide with wonder. "That's Gordon LeClaire," Jack replied, trying to keep his voice calm though his gut churned. LeClaire was known for his cutting critiques and bold opinions that could shift the art world in a heartbeat. He has a reputation for making or breaking careers. Lily's brows knitted together, processing this information. "Is he nice?" "That depends on who you ask," Jack chuckled, but his heart wasn't in it. He could only imagine the chaos that might follow LeClaire's arrival, especially if he happened upon Lily's art or Ms. Rourke's newfound thoughts as the man strode confidently through the gallery. Jack noticed Ms. Rourke's expression darken, tension pulling tighter around her shoulders. Her brows furrowed, and if there was any lightness in her demeanor from before, it vanished like a shadow swallowed by darkness. "Hurry! Let us find a good spot," Jack urged Lily as they navigated the room, weaving around families huddled in anticipation. He could feel Ms. Rourke trailing behind, almost instinctively gravitating toward them, her own apprehension palpable. "Jack," Ms. Rourke said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Do you think he'll appreciate Lily's work?" Jack shrugged, unable to offer a reassuring answer. Art is subjective. He may love it or tear it apart. Just then, the sound of LeClaire's voice cut through the murmurs, his presence a thunderstorm in the tranquil gallery. "What a lovely display of childish enthusiasm," he scoffed, eyeing Lily's vibrant paintings. Each word dripped with disdain. "Where's the integrity? Where's the sophistication? This is amateur hour." Lily's eyes fell, her joy instantly replaced with confusion. Jack's heart sank. He pulled her closer, trying to protect her from this unyielding criticism. Ms. Rourke shifted beside them, her face pale. That's harsh," she breathed, her earlier thoughts struggling against the tide of LeClaire's sharp critique. "But if you let go of the traditional rules, it might just be beautiful." Lily piped up, her voice steady and sincere. It was the kind of innocent wisdom that caught everyone off guard. The crowd fell silent, each person caught between admiration and disbelief. Jack held his breath as the tension twisted in the air. Gordon LeClaire turned, eyebrows raised, caught by this unassuming girl with frosting on her face and a heart full of passion. For a moment Jack dared to hope. "Explain yourself," LeClaire challenged, crossing his arms. Lily straightened, her small figure trembling with nerves but burning with conviction. "Art is about feeling. It's about what you see and how it makes you feel. It doesn't have to be anything else." For a moment, the room felt suspended in air. LeClaire's skepticism hung heavy, but there was something in Lily's answer that sparked a flicker of something in his eyes. "Interesting take," he conceded, more curious than dismissive now. Jack's heart began to race. Could this be a turning point? Just as he thought they might witness a breakthrough, Ms. Rourke stepped forward, determination brightening her features. "I think Lily's perspective is invaluable. It's a fresh approach that can teach all of us something about creativity." More parents began to nod in agreement, emboldened by the professor's support. The air crackled with potential, with the promise of a shift in not just Lily, but also Ms. Rourke and even LeClaire. As the whispers grew louder, Jack felt the energy change, pushing back against the negativity and opening a door to understanding. But in the midst of this storm of emotions, the question hung above them like an unformed cloud. Would it burst with downpour or drift away silently? Lily took a step back, her small frame surrounded by whispers of support and uncertainty alike. Jack knew this moment would shape their futures in ways they couldn't yet comprehend. What awaited them as the confrontation unfolded? Would Lily find her voice amidst the chaos, or would the world dim her light once more? As the electrifying tension filled the gallery, Jack felt the weight of anticipation press down on him. Everyone's eyes were on Lily, but it was in that moment that he truly saw her, the girl whose spirit refused to bow in the face of doubt. Lily straightened her back, determination shining in her blue eyes. "Art is like magic. It shows who we are," she continued, her voice unwavering. "Everyone sees things differently. This is my way of sharing what I feel. I don't need to be perfect, I just want to be me. A hush fell over the room. In the sea of skeptical faces, Jack sensed an undercurrent of sympathy beginning to swell as spectators absorbed her words. A ripple of movement shifted through the crowd. Exactly. Ms. Rourke chimed in, her voice much steadier now. We all need to let go of rigid standards sometimes. Art thrives in freedom, and that's how we discover unexpected beauty. As parents and friends began to murmur in agreement, Jack beamed with pride. He watched Ms. Rourke step closer to Lily, an invitation, a bridge constructed by their shared journey. The profound connection that existed between teacher and student was finally beginning to blossom. Gordon Leclerc's expression shifted from disdain to contemplation, curiosity about this unconventional viewpoint flickering behind his guarded eyes. Interesting, he remarked, shifting his stance slightly. But before his skepticism could resurface, Lily leapt forward. But you can find beauty in many things. My art might seem different, but it still has a heart, just like mine, just like yours. Jack's heart swelled, each word laced with the purity of a child's wisdom, striking chords deep within the onlookers. For a moment, he caught glimpses of admiration across the faces surrounding them. Even Ms. Rourke seemed to glow with recognition, as if the world around them had suddenly sharpened into focus. It's not about fitting into molds, she continued, nodding towards Lily. It's about celebrating every kind of expression even if it seems chaotic. There's beauty in the unique. Jack locked eyes with Lily and felt a surge of love and admiration for her bravery. Standing against the storm, she had ignited something in this room that went deeper than art. It was about finding common ground, life itself. As whispers turned into applause, Jack grinned as he felt the momentum shift. He could see people taking it in, their faces softening. Gordon Leclerc stood in silence, seemingly pondering what had just transpired. Maybe I am too far entrenched in my ways, he finally admitted, his voice echoing through the gallery. Creativity has a pulse and emotional impact that I've overlooked. He gestured toward Lily, a sign of respect that felt monumental in this fragile moment. Perhaps, Lillian, your chaotic artistry has achieved what structure could not. Joy erupted like fireworks. Lily's eyes sparkled, and she held her head high, warmth flooding her small frame. Thank you, she exclaimed. With that declaration, the world outside their little bubble of courage slipped away. Jack stepped forward, lifting Lily into his arms as cheers erupted around them. You did it, sweetheart. You changed hearts tonight. Their laughter rang through the gallery, a clear note of triumph. The shared closeness, the bond between them felt unbreakable. After the cheers subsided, Jack stepped to the front of the room, the thrill of success bubbling in him. This is just the beginning, he declared, his voice firm. Let us keep talking, thinking, and learning from one another. Let us create a world that includes everyone. The crowd murmured in agreement, an air of camaraderie building. Ideas began swirling like the colors in Lily's paintings, suggesting possible community meetings, art workshops, and open dialogues for acceptance and understanding. Jack looked back at Lily, radiant under the lights. In that moment, she had reshaped not just her own destiny, but also the potential fate of others like her. She had turned misunderstandings into connections, showcasing the true essence of beauty. As the night wound down, Jack felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. From the darkness of despair to the dawn of hope, their journey had transformed both of them, reinforcing the strength of family and acceptance. Thank you for believing in me, Daddy, Lily whispered later as they gathered their things. Jack's heart ached with joy. You showed me what it means to be brave, Lil. Outside, the night air was cool, filled with the sounds of laughter from families who felt connected in ways they had never experienced before. As they climbed into the car, Jack took a moment to savor it all. I can't wait for what we'll do next, he said, meeting Lily's sparkling gaze through the rearview mirror. They had each other's backs, ready to face whatever was next. No matter what challenges lay ahead, they would embrace them together, one vibrant stroke of art at a time. And that's when Jack knew. Love and understanding could heal almost anything. You need to subscribe now to this channel. Don't miss our next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. It means the world to us. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this heartwarming ending. And please, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. You're part of our community, and your support is what keeps us alive.